I want to give massive thanks to all of my supporting members and patrons. Thank you all so very much. Hello, good evening and welcome, and I hope you're not always feeling as hot. Shall I start again? Hello, good evening and welcome. I hope you're not feeling as hot and as uncomfortable as I have been today. I don't do heat, not at all. I have got the aircon on and I have to hope it doesn't sound like squealing hamsters later on. I've managed to get the temperature down to 25 in here. As soon as I switch it off it creeps up, and I mean it hits sort of over 30. Sort of first thing this morning. We can't be doing that, can we now, my love? Now, who was it? Someone said in there, I'll just tinker with this. Someone said in there that they think I've been replaced with a pod person. What's that then? What's a pod person? Why do you think that? I do have a thought about why you might be saying that. Very interesting. Let me know why. Why have I been replaced by a pod person? And also, who was it? Someone was saying about people up north not wanting to hear people down south moaning about how hot it is. Yeah, it is a bit cooler up there, isn't it? I'm not sure what it is around here. About 32, I think, today. Something like that. Which doesn't bode well for building fencing. Oh, no. So I managed to get an hour done at about 8:30 this morning. And then it was too hot. Now, Pinion, 25 months member. Woo! 25 months. Thank you, sir. And I hope you and Little Miss Now are both doing very well. Maldives, next pro. Maldives, just saying. Gotta say Maldives. Oh yes, we like some Maldives. Definitely. Have I seen how hot it's got in France? No, I haven't. I saw Spain was hitting 40. I've not heard anything about France. What's happening in France? Oh, hello, Mitch Goldstein. I see you in there. Good evening to you. And I see you're in the live waiting room. I'll get you in a little while. Long time no speak. I hope you've all checked out on the pinned comment up there. Yeah, up there. The excellent Deepfake created by Blue Feather. I think you can look at it even if you haven't got Twitter. Absolutely cracking job. There's a second one that Blue Feather made, which I'll probably post tomorrow. They were actually made in March, and I only saw them today. I do get swamped with stuff, and then I miss it. But I was ploughing through and I found it. So big thanks, Blue Feather. Absolutely excellent. Couldn't believe it. France has hit 43. 43. Pod People, the Alien Replacements Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The original film. But why do you think I'm a pod person? Why? Why is this? Because I don't know. At work, one room was 43 degrees C and the other was 3 degrees C. Yes, but on average it's a nice comfortable temperature, Dog Walker. 43 and 3? I think there's something not quite right with the heating cooling system you got there. Play without audio and sing, says Mr. 42. Yeah, sorry, he just sent me a Discord message. Well, you can all check that out. Yeah, it's a shame really. Blue's already got back to me and said if I can find something that's non-copyright, they'll happily do a deep fake with that. So if you've got any ideas of something that's not copyright that you'd like to see me singing, then let me know. Or let Blue Feather know directly. Timo, if this heat continues, the Arctic ice wall will melt. Then all the water will fall off of the flat Earth. That's bad. That'll be disaster, won't it? But if it's just an ice wall, forgive me if I'm wrong, and one doesn't wish to be churlish, but one does feel a churl coming on, ice floats. So why doesn't the sea flow underneath the ice wall? I don't know. You'll have to ask Mr. Oakley about that, I suppose. Professor Phil Bell. Hey, 32 is a nice summer temperature. Here it's horribly cold, 9 degrees. Yeah, well, Phil, I'm nice and comfortable, about 21, 22. I love sunshine. I love a summer's morning when you can feel the heat's coming on. But, actually, I'm okay just walking up or down the garden. But as soon as I try and do anything, I just don't. I just get really uncomfortable really quickly. I always have. I just don't do heat. Never mind there. Never mind at all. Who else we got in here? Quite a few names. Brian Pop Robson, hello to you. Robski, who made it on time for once. Oh, yes, I did see you say that. And Timo, just Timo, good evening to you. Steve 6464, a name from the past. Golden Skeptic, hello to you. Charlie Welch, Next Pro. Pat in the chat. Good evening to you. Loads of people. Oh, we're up to 47 already. Have you seen the pitiful live stream viewing figures Mr. Nathan Oakley is getting? I had a look at one of his live streams the other morning when I was just checking things out, and he'd been going for a little while, and he had 13 viewers, and one was me. Not good at all, Mr. Oakley. Also, Mr. Oakley, a message for you. You haven't responded to either of my last couple of videos, the one about refraction and lines of sight, and the other one which I just did about, what the hell was it about? I better quickly go and check because I can't remember. What was it? Coriolis, wasn't it? Coriolis. So that's 2 videos I've done, Nathan, aimed at you, and you haven't mentioned either of them. Appears some people missed you. Oh, thank you, Dora. Thank you. Oh, Triggered Liming. Hello, you beautiful bastards. Well, that's nice, isn't it? That's very nice, Limey. Very nicely. Original Invasion Body Snatchers for 56. Oh, it was the 78 version with Donald Sutherland. That was the old... Yeah, you're right. That's the one I like. Well, I've been called out there. I got that one wrong. Hey, I admit my mistakes, Flat Earthers. Oh, yes. Definitely. So hot the streets here crackle as you drive. I was thinking today as I was walking up the path, I wonder how hot it would have to get before you could fry an egg on the concrete. And I thought, well, that'd be interesting to try. But then what bugger's going to eat it afterwards? I suppose I could just sneak it onto a plate and give it to Mrs. S. No, never mind those gritty bits. Never mind where the dog might have been a little earlier. Oh, yes. Mash the like button. Oh, smash the like button. Sorry, Next Pro, I missed out on that one as well. Yeah, so we got a lot going on here. We're just trying to do major works on the house this year, getting the roof sorted out, and I'm doing a shed load of fencing. Then I've got to do a shed, actually. My old shed is, well, let's say it's past its prime, because when you walk through it, your foot goes through the floor. So that's got to be redone. I've repaired my greenhouse already, just in time for it to be too hot to even walk in it. I had a look yesterday afternoon, and it's got one of these high-low thermometers. It'd gone off the scale at 140. The needle got stuck at the top. Hey, what's this? I can't help it. It's my new catchphrase. YouTube doesn't like the C word. What, cocaine? YouTube doesn't like cocaine, Triggered Limey. Oh dear, what a shame. I heard Nathan prove Coriolis. Oh yes. Nathan is a divot, isn't he? A right divot. Concrete doesn't have enough heat transfer to fry an egg. At least that's the myth, I believe. I could fry it on the bonnet of Mrs. S's car. Yeah. It might take the paint off, but that's not my problem. Well, actually, it probably would be my problem quite quickly thinking about it. Oh, and I mentioned last stream that I still can't tell you people, I'm so sorry, but I mentioned last stream that big changes are likely to be afoot on this channel. It's definite now. Big changes are afoot on this channel, so do keep an eye out. There'll be a bit of a rebranding and some other changes. Oh yes, big changes So you do need to make sure you've got that subscribe button and bell and tinkler tinkled so you hear all about it. There will be how should we put it? An announcement stream. No, a simulcast or a triplicast. Oh yes, a triplicast. So keep watching. Definitely. I would like you kind and fine people. If you come across something that you think I should have a look at, please pop it on my Discord under debunk suggestions. I look through, let me think, I've got about 80 channels on a folder of bookmarks. So all 80 tabs. So it's high IQ research. 80 tabs open up, and I can check all these flat earther and idiot channels for content. But the more eyes that are looking, the better. Or it doesn't have to be flat earth. If you think of something else that you think you'd like to see me have a go at, or laugh at, or correct, please let me know. Up for anything, really. Now I have Mr. Mitch Goldstein is in the live waiting room. So Mitch, here's your 10-second warning or whatever, and what's up with this? There we go. I shall bring you in a minute, in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, if I can even get in the room properly, because I put my camera on there. There we go. Go on. Go on. Oh. There we go. Yeah, so I'll bring Mitch Goldstein on and we'll have a bit of a chat. Not spoken to Mitch for a while. Mr. Sensible is going flat earth. You heard it here. What do you mean pardon me. Sorry, that was probably aimed at Nathan Oakley. What do you mean I'm going flat earth? I'm not going flat earth. Do I want specific videos, channels, or general topics to debunk? Well, Max, general topics, that is helpful. But if you have a particular channel that's got a lot of derp on it, that's great because I can have a look through, or a particular video. Because if I look at that video and it turns out, I don't think I could do that. It's not something I could work with. I'll have a look at other stuff on their channels. So a channel or a video would be great, really would. So let's get Mitch in, and there's also dog. So dog. I'll get you in a minute. Let's get Mitch in first. Hello, Mitchell. Mitch.
Oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm here, all right.
Oh yeah, you're there. You blew my ears off.
Sorry about that.
Actually, it could be my mic. Just say something else again.
All right, here we are. How you doing, Mr. Sensible? Hope you're well.
Yeah,
I know I haven't been around very much, but I'm glad to be back. Glad to see everybody's well.
Yeah, it is good to see you, and see you I can. No one else can, but I can. Hey!
You're the only one who needs to see me, actually.
How are you, and how's the good lady wife?
Julie's great. She's down with her folks for a week.
Whereas I'm down with the kids.
Yeah, right. So I get to take up more than the 1/3 of the bed that I'm usually allotted.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, Julie.
Not with Julie.
That's all right. And no, it's a beautiful, absolutely spectacular summer day here in Pittsburgh.
Lovely.
Absolutely lovely. It was quite humid the last couple of days.
You've just doxed yourself, Mitch. Everybody knows where you live now. They're all going to be popping round your house for a beer.
Well, that's if I'm telling the truth.
Well, that's true. That is true. It could be a cunning plan to mislead people.
I got to be honest with you. We've been talking about flat Earth. Gosh, we met almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about it for a long time, and I think we've moved the needle on creating a lot of. We've actually forced them to lower the bar even further, and I think it's an interesting phenomenon because the only bar that we ask them to have at all is just that of simple scientific empirical experimentation, and they can't even achieve that. And I think it's kind of funny because whenever they actually do manage to perform a scientific experiment, it invariably proves, as it were, that that their flat Earth beliefs are incorrect. I'm not going to say proves the globe because that's that's just nonsense. It doesn't need to be.
No,
They're
well,
the
I
ones.
mean, they're trying to disprove the globe. They never try and prove flat Earth. Really, they try and disprove the globe, and they fail
Yeah.
every
Well,
time. And
yeah, they sure do, don't they?
it's quite sad, really, quite sad. And I see we got dog in here, so let's get dog in as well. Hello, dog. Good evening to you. Dog is muted. Well, dog can sit in here and unmute when they're ready. Yeah, so I think you're right, Mitch. I think there is a pitiful amount of flat Earth on here. So in one way, that's quite sad, but on the other hand, could say job done, pretty much.
Job done just by virtue of the fact that YouTube will tag videos about it. You know, your videos are tagged and their videos are tagged, and I think that if anything, that alone shows how preposterous it is. That it's a very very typical sort of victim mentality, and actually mirrors a lot of other kind of conspiracy thinking. Um, you know, I'm a Freemason in addition to being a pretty cool person, and I'm a skeptic theist, I would say. That's where I kind of place myself. But as a Freemason, I've noticed a lot of anti Masonic conspiracies. I'm also Jewish, so I've noticed a lot of Judaism oriented
Yep.
conspiracies, mostly around sort of these mythological financial constructs that, you know, when you just do 4.5 seconds of even just like light Wikipedia will show you how absolutely preposterous it is, and that all these things are, you know, they come from the similar source. The
Well,
source, you know,
un- un-
sowing division in humanity.
unfortunately, there is a lot of stupid hate of Masons and a lot of stupid hate of Jewish people, which I just don't understand. It makes me
Yeah.
so angry.
Now, and I can tell you, just between you and me, Mr. Sensible,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that nobody knows, but you know, Jewish people, there are some awfully racist Jewish people. It's really, it's to me, that's even more boggling. Not that people hate Jews, people have been hating on Jews for thousands of years, nothing new. But when you have people who are Jewish who are also racist, who are kind of traditional victims of racism, it's just absolutely mind-boggling. Just like when I hear, you know, people of African origin who are racist, or really anybody
Yeah, well, that's right.
who's racist.
You
It's
get
just absolutely
you
hilarious.
get racists across the board, of course. What I really don't understand is I think the worst thing is tarring a group of people with the same brush. I could really despise someone who is Jewish, not because they're Jewish, but because I despise that person. It has nothing
Yeah,
to do with it. And
yeah,
the same with someone's colour or the country they come from. You can dislike an individual and then just have nothing to do with them. Let them go on. There's plenty of space in this world. Ignore them.
you know
Yeah.
what I think is kind of funny is that people of my kids' generation, they don't really find homosexual jokes funny. They don't find racist jokes or religious jokes funny. I think that that's really interesting
Yeah.
because I can tell you that's one way that stereotypes are kind of replicated. They're cloaked in humor, but they still belie that kind of fundamental weakness of human thinking that would prefer a simple explanation to justify your own sort of psychotic feelings, you know, to any sort of investigation that might lead you to believe, you know, there's all kinds of Freemasons, there's all kinds of Jewish people. Everybody has at least one gay person somewhere in their family. It's just the way the numbers work out. You know, I think we're coming to a time where the younger people are just saying, no, we're just not going to have a part of that.
Mm. But
We just,
that
you know,
can't be a bad
yeah,
thing. That can't be a bad thing.
yeah.
Well, dog, you're unmuted. Hello, dog.
Hello.
Good evening to you. You all right?
Yeah, currently wrapped around what brewery is that? Black Sheep Brewery, milk stout.
I think I should just call you Dog because there's at least 4 too many in your name.
If you can imagine a real ale flavoured milkshake, that's approximately what it's like.
Well, that sounds quite unusual. I have a cup of tea. The strongest thing I could get right now.
The more sensible choice.
Yeah, it's all right. And what's the weather like in your part of the world today then, Dog?
I can't tell you that. You might know where I live.
Yes. Yeah, we got a temperature gradient running across the UK, so you tell us the temperature, we'll know how far north you are.
That's right.
Well, I can actually tell you what the weather around here is. If you
can.
look at the weather forecast for my nearest Royal Air Force base,
Yeah.
the weather is not what that says.
Ah, I know where you are then. We all know where you are. You've self-doxed yourself.
Yeah,
Self-doxing.
you're in the UK, a small island off the coast of Europe.
Yeah.
It's absolutely covered with Royal Air Force bases and has the most ridiculously
That's right.
confused weather systems on Earth.
And we got the triggered Limey in the house. Good evening, Limey.
All right.
How are you? Hello,
Make
Limey.
plans to go out because the weather forecast says it's going to be a beautiful day. It pisses down. Make
Yeah.
no plans to go out because the weather forecast says it's going to rain. Beautiful day. Weather forecast says it's going to rain. Go outside on a beautiful morning. Working. Hasn't rained at all.
What
Then
amazing!
it starts raining when the weather forecast said it was going to clear up.
What the amazing thing is, I've said before, I work 6 on, 4 off, and invariably the 4 off are the 4 rotten days of weather, and then it's all nice weather while I'm at work. But this 4 days, it's been really good, too good. And Turtle Moo says it's hot, dang hot. Too right, Turtle.
What you want to do is take 6 days off and go and walk the West Pembrokeshire coastal path. Then it'll rain on you every day
Yeah.
for the full 14.
All right, can you hear me now, guys?
I can hear you now, Limey. How are you?
Oh, lovely. Yeah, good. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, not so bad. Not so bad. How's your channel going? What's your channel doing?
Well, not too much the past week. I had my birthday stream yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Yeah, aside from that, I don't know, another stream tomorrow and then back to videos next week. But yeah, it was a bit of a busy week. So I'm still sort of going after frauditors. I'm keeping an eye on Flat Earth, of course.
Yeah.
To see if they do something that I haven't ever covered before, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
So, how you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. Not so bad. I've been doing some work on these channel changes that are coming up, which I can't really go into yet, and been busy doing jobs, big outside jobs with the better weather that really have got put off for the past couple of years. Well, partly because of having the time, partly because of not having the money. There we go. That's always the way, isn't it?
Yes.
Usually got one or the other.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to have both at the same time.
Yeah. And S. Aston says the south coast has melted into the channel today.
Oh.
Hello, April
It has
Van
been
Ryan.
nice, isn't it?
A three-way live stream about these big changes to the channel.
Sorry, say again, Dog.
You said you were going to do a three-way live stream about these big changes to
I
the channel.
might have said that, yes.
Yeah, that invites speculation,
It does.
Like if you're planning to...
I think you better keep quiet in case you get it right.
You don't have to confirm if you get it right.
No.
Couples with 2 Swedish couples, and all three couples moving into one big house. We're going to live as a wonderful polycule.
Oh, okay.
With lots and lots of cuddling and many cats.
Mitch Goldstein, member for 25 months. A sensible member says, "We love you, Mr. Sensible. Love you too, Mitch and Julie."
Of course.
25 months. That's longer than my channel's been alive.
Is it really? Is it really?
Yeah.
Robsky says,
yeah.
"Please tell Limey that a homemade pizza disaster stream is a great idea."
You know what? I have kind of started breaking my diet a bit, so I don't know. Maybe I will try it. I've never made homemade pizza. I've not made much of
Well,
anything
maybe,
really.
just maybe, you should go and check out Flatsoid Perspective channel, because he did a stream when he made a pizza.
Did he?
Yeah,
He,
covered
you know
in
what?
pineapple, I think.
Oh, nice. Oh, no, not nice. No, pineapple does not go on pizza. No, that is wrong. That is naughty. But yeah, I'm quite proud of Flatsoid for actually branching out away from Flat Earth. Hopefully, a bit of time away from it with his content might make him, rethink his
Well, this
position.
is true. He's changed, and he's now appearing on his channel rather than being just the voice. And there was some dreadful problems he was having with his sound, where you could barely make out what he was saying. The balance was so out. So I gave him a couple of comments, and I think at first he thought I was having a go, and they weren't. They were constructive comments, because I can disagree with what he's saying, but it'd be nice to actually hear what he's saying so I could disagree with it properly. But now he seems to have got his sound better, which is good.
I kind of thought you were about to say there was a problem with his sound because we could hear him.
Oh, no, that's a low kick, that is.
Hey, I don't mind kicking low though. That's my thing, I'll kick wherever. My channel is made to disgruntle people. Pretty much.
You have lots of
Can I ask
disgruntlings.
you an honest question? Seriously.
Who?
Have you ever met someone and they were gruntled?
Well, Mrs. S is quite gruntled.
Yeah, I tend to be gruntled sometimes.
All right.
I like a bit of grunting.
It's like spending the evening being couth.
Yes,
Ooh,
that's right.
Yes.
And everyone is.
I can't stand being uncouth.
But we're all combobulated until we've got a discombobulator. What? I mean, are you combobulated? I don't know. I haven't checked.
That is a good question. Who do you even see for that? Like, that can't be just your regular GP. That's got to be a specialist. I'm
all
sure.
I can tell you, 25 months ago was actually a few months after we originally met, I guess, Mr. S. And at the time he was tinguished, but now he's distinguished. So,
Very cool.
When the alcohol wears off and you're no longer inebriated, are you re-ebriated or ex-ebriated?
I don't know. Many questions.
What is this thing where alcohol wears off is what I want to know, Whoever lets that happen?
Me.
That's
I
just wrong.
literally cannot remember the last drink I had. It was probably on a live stream about 6 months ago.
It was a cup of tea about 5 minutes ago, Mr.
No.
S. Get your head checked.
And now
You actually deal with flat earthers sober?
Yes.
My good lord, man.
Yes.
How do you cope?
I don't. I take it out on the missus, and then she takes it out on me.
That's
Fair
such
play.
bullshit, Mr. S.
I wish, I wish I could drink a lot more. Actually, I think doing what I do, but it's rare that I drink because I'm on morphine and pregabalin for my spine, and I can get drunk from 2 or 3 beers now because of those, But yeah, I drank a lot yesterday.
Starting to sound like sarcastic barman here.
Yes.
Yeah,
With a pizza
good
oven
man.
camera on his live stream. Talking about a drink, there's this guy I used to work with, and he was he was not an alcoholic, but for several years he drank a lot. I mean, a lot. And he used to walk into town, have a good drink, and catch the bus back. And one night he'd had 16 pints. I kid you not, 16 pints. Okay.
You're saying he's not an alcoholic?
Hold on. He had 16 pints. He got back and thought, I'm not drunk. That's a waste of money. So he went teetotal like that.
Whoa.
So if he was an alcoholic, he cured himself straight away. I don't think he was. He was just a very heavy drinker for, a short number of years. But 16
was he not
pints.
drunk from 16
Because he
pints?
drank
Like,
a
he
lot
built up
regularly.
That much of a tolerance.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's a fairly big bloke. He wasn't fat. He was tall and he was broad and so on. But yeah, he was a very, very regular drinker, had massive tolerance, and then thought, well, it's a waste of money. So he just stopped drinking, and he's teetotal. Yeah.
I can kind of understand that. My baby brother is 6'4" and just a giant. And I mean, he can drink a bottle of whiskey and then go out to a pub or something, So
that's why I gave up having sex with twins for the same reason.
Sorry, my aircon unit had switched off. It was on a timer. I've just switched it on, and now it's going mad, and it's squealing like hamsters. I'll give it a minute or two. Hopefully, the hamsters will shut up a bit once it's got over its initial blast. I know that.
Is that just your way of rubbing in that you've got air conditioning, Jammy?
Yeah. Well, I said
it's
at the top of the...
it's been horrible today. I miss being in the States where every home has air conditioning.
Yeah,
I said
every home has air conditioning and an AR-15.
Well, I said at the top of the stream the temperature I think was 24, and it's gone up 2 degrees just in the 10 minutes since that went off. It just heats up here so quickly. I do hope that quietens down. We'll give it a minute.
Yeah, every home in the US has air conditioning if the air conditioning unit hasn't been hit by a stray bullet or cracked open by a 20-year-old Iraq veteran who's
it depends on where you live.
And too young to buy beer in a shop, looking for the coolant in the hope that it's moonshine.
I think it depends on where you live. I was half a mile north of Detroit, and so I could hear the gunshots most nights. But, they'd never hit the house. So that was okay.
You're actually within range of them at half a mile.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no,
US
definitely.
is one of the very few countries on Earth that has a statistic for the average number of children killed in the playground by falling bullets per year.
By falling bullets?
They do come back down again. There's this thing called gravity.
No, I know that, but I didn't realise it would be that big of a problem. It's not the wild, wild west where they celebrate by shooting their guns in the air.
It's only because the bullets are denser than the air anyway.
Well, that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Oh, wait, relative density disequilibrium. I gotcha.
Yeah. Could be, couldn't it?
The lead core comes out and the copper jacket gets left behind when it hits someone.
Oh.
Well, my favorite answer to why things fall down is that it's just a coincidence.
Dog Walker was just saying I haven't oiled that bearing. Dog, I actually had to look. I can't get into that unit. It's not sealed, but I think it's consumer sealed. I do have to get someone in. The thing is, it's gone quiet now. It's only every now and then it does it, so I'll be all right now. Yeah.
Just get brave and spray a mist of WD-40 towards the air intake.
Would that work, or would it blow up? I don't know. Or would I just knacker it?
I think
whatever you do.
Coating of WD-40 over everything in the room.
WD-40 smells gorgeous.
Oh, it is lovely. Whatever you do, make sure you record it because, we all want to know the answer to what would happen.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. Video. Right, well, I won't do that to my aircon unit. Thanks, pal. S. Aston says, would you rather drink a bottle of Romulan ale or Klingon blood wine? I think Romulan ale.
I gotta go.
Yeah, I'd go for the blood wine.
Oh,
I like the color. It's the same color as blue curacao. It's that really color that's not found in nature blue.
Well, Martin H says, I was away. Did I hear that Mr. S had a problem with his hair conditioning? And Robsky says AC is required in the UK for the 4 days of summer we get every year. Oh yes, but I need it in here. The thing is, it's one of these cooling heating systems. It just operates in reverse for the winter, so it's my heating for this room as well. Yeah.
Yorkshire air conditioning is just
window. Open the bloody window, lad, and stop moaning. That was the worst Yorkshire accent I've ever. Wasn't it?
Something like once every 5 meters across Yorkshire. So just go and sit by the stream. It'll be cooler there.
Well, I've been up north a few times, and I must say it's absolutely beautiful. And I must say the people are much friendlier than down south. There's plenty of friendly people down here, but up north, as in general, people are more friendly. Yeah, it's
most
nice.
Definitely. I grew up in Chatham, and you've got quite a high risk of getting stabbed there when you walk to work and or school or whatever. Yeah, up north is lovely. I love Yorkshire. I need to do the Great Lakes. My mum keeps saying that's the most beautiful thing, most beautiful place she's ever been.
Well, I think I've said on this stream before, when we were buying this house, it takes a couple months or whatever to get sorted out, and we sort of deliberately drove past a couple of times just to have a look at the house we're going to get, and then we decided to park up walk past, try out the pub, have a drink, and walk back again past the house again. So we were walking past down towards the pub, and I said to Mrs. S, come on, just keep walking, because ahead of us there was this little block of garages, and there was this sort of looked like he was about a 19-year-old guy, all dressed in black leather, leant up against a motorcycle, pulling on the dog end of his cigarette. And I said, come on, let's just walk past. As we approached him, he turned to us and said, hello, good evening, you all right then? We'd both grown up in cities. We were living in a small town, and to come to a village where a teenage like that would suddenly say hello to total strangers rather than try and pick a fight was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Especially nowadays, like, I don't know, I think kids are getting worse, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong, I was an arsehole when I was a kid, but, you know, God, they outdo me.
What do you mean when you were a kid?
Well, yeah, still now, but, you know, not in person. It's all for YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only time I act like a, you know, a big C. Mostly, or at the pub.
When I was a kid in the late 1900s.
That's a great way to refer to it.
You're really good. If you
I've never thought about that before.
Speak to some youngsters there. You speak to some youngsters, they're going to be really shocked when you say that. I mean, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I turned around to a girl I work with and was talking about something. She said, well, I don't remember. I wasn't born. Oh, when were you born? 2002. What? So she didn't even see the millennium.
Well,
No.
the Playmate of the Year, you know, Playmate, Playboy.
No, I wouldn't know anything about that, Mitch. What do you know about it?
Yeah, what is this? What's a Playboy?
She was born in 2003.
My goodness. It's wrong to be even looking at that at your age, man.
I didn't look at it, man. At my age.
Hey, I don't know. I don't. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. But yeah, it is. It's bad because I don't know. I don't feel like I turned 42 yesterday. I don't feel that old mentally. Physically, I feel like an octogenarian. You know, my body is falling apart. I need a new spine. But you know, like I still, you know, I still like play video games with my nephew and you know, just hang out, have a laugh, and you know, I don't feel that old. But then, you know, like there's kids next door. I'm old enough to be their grandfather, and it's just it feels weird. That's where I start feeling old now.
I was about to say, you've got a couple of years to go yet before you get to the point where it's all right, she's over half my age plus 7. It's not a defense. Again, get out of it, man. You're old enough to be her father.
When you reach a point where you are attracted to someone who's 1/3 your age, and it's perfectly legitimate.
Well, you know, for those that are a fan of maths, if you take my father's age of 68 and subtract my age of 42, you get the age of the girl he started seeing. This is the age she was last year when he met her.
Oh, right.
But yeah, like, you know,
So he's old enough to be a grandfather.
well, yeah, and I could feasibly kind of be old enough to be a dad, you know. I mean, I'm sure 15 years old would be enough to, you know, to seed the next generation.
This stream is rapidly going downhill.
Yeah, I apologize. I shouldn't
no
have come
worries.
on. I knew I was going to bring it down.
I think
They're all rapidly going downhill.
Food sculptures are the next run down on this one.
Yeah.
We're all over 40. Going downhill is what we do.
Wow.
This is true.
Speak for
This is
yourself,
true.
mate.
Oh, well, you know, yeah, I'm going uphill, mate, now. I've decided. I have a whole new lease on life with YouTube. It's awesome.
You see, now,
It's the community, mainly.
If I was
you
in
know?
charge of this country, I would decree that all hills are downhill, because then vehicles could just roll down. You wouldn't have any worries about fuel. You could just roll downhill everywhere. I don't know why they don't do that. I just don't.
I'm not sure how they would do that, of course, but
You just decree it. All hills are going to be downhill. It's the law.
Well,
yeah, I guess if you decree it and then
Yeah.
make sure you slip everyone a strong hallucinogen in their morning tea.
Or
just make a model such that at night it's the other way around.
yeah, so as long as 50% of the time it's uphill, the time when we're all asleep in bed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. When teams of elves come and point, push your car to the top of the hill for the next day.
No, the Earth rotates, right?
Are we?
The Earth rotates
Value Legolas.
halfway around. The Earth rotates halfway around, and now you're uphill and now you're downhill. You see?
Well, that's true. Yes. Yeah, just with the rotation of the Earth. Wait 12 hours, and the hill will be the other way. Fantastic, Mitch. Fantastic.
You could actually usefully make a change like that to Wensleydale. The road up Wensleydale goes...
I thought he was talking about the cheese then.
No, the valley. It used to be called Yoredale, as in Jorvik, Yerval, Abbey, and that kind of,
Nice.
The road goes up into Ripon, down, up to Lightwater Valley, which for some reason is on a hill, but called a valley, down to, I think it's Thornton Rust. I forget the name of the village, but it's got supposedly the nicest beer garden in Yorkshire or something. Up onto the crest, down into the valley, up into Middleham, down into the valley and across the river, up to Leyburn, back down across the river, up to the next town. I think somebody should go up there and just build a cycle lane. Sod the car drivers, just a two-way cycle lane. But as a causeway up the bottom of the valley at a steady gradient, all the way at least as far up as Hawes, so that I can cycle up that valley without having to climb both sides of it 5 bloody times each on the way.
Well, you think what they should do is get a really big saw, cut the mountain tops off halfway, flip them over into the valleys, average it out. And Judy Bassett, member for 17 months, says, I'm old enough to have watched the moon landings. I wish I was. I mean that honestly, I do wish I could have seen them.
That would have been awesome.
I was too young and we didn't have a TV either. So.
I was 5. We watched. It was very late at night too. I remember. It was
and was it a school night, Mitch?
I think it was Sunday night. Yeah, I think it was a school night.
I think I was in Michigan, when the Challenger disaster happened. Because we lived there. We lived there for 4 years when I was younger.
Flat Earthers claim that the Challenger did not explode because of O-rings, but that is...
Yeah, because they've got those pictures of people that look like, similar. One of them's like their brother. I think it's disgusting.
Disgusting is exactly the word I was going to use.
Yeah, it makes me want to hurt them.
I'm a great big fan of Judy Resnick, who was not only the first Jewish woman astronaut, but was also exceptionally attractive, at least at the time I thought so. And her loss was extremely tragic. It really, really bothers me when the conspiracy theories about national tragedy emerge as legitimate discourse. It's just so sad. We've just got to talk about all this nonsense.
Yeah, it's not fair on their families either. How are they ever going to get closure when every so often it's rehashed up by the next group of conspiratards?
And the thing is, it's so easily debunked, isn't it?
Yeah, but they won't believe it because, same with Flat Earth. That's what kills me with the whole Nathan Oakley thing when he always says, you're presupposing a sphere. No, they presuppose a flat Earth. And then, then dismiss all of the evidence. Not a single one of them has gone out and actually tried, to repeat Eratosthenes, Al-Biruni, or nothing to do with math.
Yeah, I was going to say they can't do the adding up. And math is just a model, isn't it? And we don't live on a model. What a pathetic thing to say.
If presupposing anything invalidates your claim, then as soon as they say, if P, you can stop. You're presupposing.
Yes.
Fuck your Black Swan picture.
treading the boards, is old enough to remember sitting in his dad's or in the dad's car, listening to the launch of Sputnik. What? The anti-COVID jab? Sputnik 5, wasn't it?
I don't know. There's now a horror film called Sputnik, isn't there?
I don't know.
I kind of want to see that. It's supposed to be quite good.
Did you see that Russian guy, was it Lavrov, had an interview with a BBC reporter today or yesterday? He insisted on speaking Russian, even though he can speak perfectly good English. And he denied that the Russians have invaded Ukraine. He said, no, we haven't invaded there. It's a special operation. Still saying that.
What?
If it's not an invasion, but they are using violence against the civilian population indiscriminately in an attempt to force a change of policy and or government, we have words for that begin with T.
Bosses.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Twat.
Well, I mean, he reminded me of Comical Alley. Do you remember him?
Oh yes, there are no American tanks in Baghdad.
And they're trundling around, trundling
Hmm.
behind him. Fantastic.
Oh, I've not seen that.
Well, there was Chemical Alley, who was the guy supposedly responsible for all the chemical weapons that what's his name was supposed to be having, and that was a well-known nickname. So when this mouthpiece for I can't even remember who was the Saddam Hussein, the mouthpiece for Saddam Hussein, his propagandist, he was saying all these ridiculous things. No, we're going to win. Oh, our army's brilliant. No, there's no American tanks, and they were literally driving behind him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you have a Google for Comical Alley. Hopefully, some of his propaganda is still on YouTube.
Oh.
You see, the head of Roscosmos was recently making threats about the ISS.
Okay, what's his threat?
Saying if you make sanctions against Russia, you won't have any way to boost the ISS into orbit, and then it's going to fall back down. It's not going to land on Russia. It's going to land on the USA or Europe or India. How are you going to explain to India that the ISS fell on them? There's no danger to Russia. The ISS doesn't go over Russia. ISS orbit is inclined 51 degrees from the equator. That guy just announced that nothing south of 51 degrees north is part of Russia.
Nice one.
Guess which side of that line Crimea's on? Go home, you lot. You've been told. You don't live here.
Well, I honestly think that the space side of things, ISS and the work that various countries do together, that should be beyond politics. Certainly with regard to the lives of any astronauts from whichever country they come from.
That's why I had a little trouble with our last so-called president's creation of Space Force, his little pet project of creating another branch of the military to do space operations.
The thing is,
very much.
It's totally ridiculous. I think that Thunderfoot did a breakdown video on that idea. Just the cost of lifting all this stuff up there and the amount of damage you can do from up there, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Nope.
So if you spend billions and get half a dozen astronauts up there, and the Russians do the same, and one lot knocks the 7 bells out the other lot, great, you've killed 7 astronauts or whatever it is. That's not going to stop the other country. It's a total waste.
Because it's not really about that. It's about the profiteering. It's never about the actual war. It's winning. It's never about having a war and winning it like it used to be. But this is not the age of Napoleon or Horatio Hornblower. This is the age of proxy wars. They're economic wars that other people, less wealthy people, less entitled people, less privileged people that are fighting on our behalf.
I've just
blood diamond wars, isn't it?
Sorry, everyone, I just brought in Gary Little, Captain Welshie, and Nal Pinion. They're all in the house.
I'll be right back. Sorry, people.
Okie dokie.
We thought we were fighting communism, but in the end, it was all about who got what: gold, oil.
Do you know what I think? I think you're some kind of prevert, and you're practicing your preversion. Quote from... Who was it that said that? What film? You want to know what I think? I think you're some kind of a prevert, and you're practicing your preversion. Someone's got to get that. They always do. I think that's pretty much word for word. I'm looking at a blank face from Mitch, and everyone else is just icons, so I don't know what they're thinking.
You can have a blank curtain from
Not
me.
just my
The camera's
face,
facing that way at
blank.
the moment.
No comments so far in the chat. Normally when I say something like that, someone's got it straight away. I'm surprised, actually. I'll leave it a minute. Unless the live chat, let's just talk about you, because Mitch had said about this is the age.
No, I'm watching the
Timo's
live
got
chat.
it. Doctor Strangelove. Dr. Strangelove. Who was it in Doctor Strangelove said it then, Timo? Hads has got it as well. I think that's a mistype. Yeah, Gary Little's got it. Hads, I think, has got it. It's not a silent movie that I'm quoting. Yeah. Where did this quote come from?
No.
Name the film. It wasn't a general, Gary Little. It wasn't a general. He's got a brilliant name, the officer in charge. And it wasn't the bomb, Biggest Doggers. I think I finally got one over on them. They're all Googling now. I got the film. The sergeant who came to arrest Mandrake, don't remember the name. Well, that was the person, but he wasn't a sergeant.
Don't remember.
Oh, Mitch, I would have thought you'd have known that one.
I just haven't seen the movie in so long. Honestly, it's a pretty depressing movie.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. I love Slim Pickens in it.
Slim Pickens is wonderful, and Peter Sellers, although allegedly a difficult person, was actually quite brilliant in that film. And
he was about seven. I think he was 7 roles in that film, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say supporting cast, including Peter Sellers. Sellers,
because he was Doctor Strangelove, he was Mandrake, he was the President. I can't think what other roles he was. But no one has got the name of that officer who was arresting Mandrake.
I'm not going to go. My fingers are not leaving my hands. I've Googled enough this week. I'm off now.
Your fingers are not leaving your hands?
No. We do have to protect our precious bodily fluids, Hypervirtualist. I think I'm going to have to give it you guys. I think I've won on this one. It was Colonel Batguano, if that really is your name. Colonel Batguano.
I'll never forget it now.
No, people need to look up what Batguano is. It was fantastic.
We have to protect our fluids. Hey, I'm gonna zip on out of here. Give some other people a chance to talk. Great seeing you, Mr.
You
S.
too, Mitch. I was wondering where you've been, and I'm glad that you're all okay. Say hi to Julia.
Busy, so we're still here. All right, take care.
Take care then. Bye bye.
Bye.
Well, Keno says it's Colonel Guano. Yeah, that's right, Colonel Bat Guano. And the seller said, if that really is your name. You think I go into battle with loose change in my pocket? I just love that film. Hello now, Pinion. You're back in the house? Can you hear us this time?
This time I can hear you.
Ah, excellent. And how is Little Miss now?
She's sleeping, and she's doing really good.
Good. I'm glad. I'm not sure.
Sorry. Yeah, I think I've been out of YouTube for some time. And it was due to some crazy comments that we got on the Opinion channel right after Christmas early this year. And that actually, I told Limey about that, and that got him banned from Twitter because he was so angry and commented about it. So I haven't really apologized to Limey about that, but maybe I can use this.
I am back, and no apologies necessary. Sorry about that. I just had my brother on face chat. Yeah, dude, don't even apologize. I stand behind every word I said about those assholes.
Yeah. Wow. Well, now perhaps you can let me know about it sometime off stream.
Yes, yeah. I will.
Truth Nerds member for 14 months. Thank you, Truth Nerds. Kubrick, about hiring sellers for Doctor Strangelove, said, I got 3 for the price of 6. Yeah. I presume you guys have all seen the film, haven't you?
No.
Really?
I only seen bits and pieces of it.
I think it's
I know.
really clever because it's a
Yeah.
multi-level film. It's a strange comedy about nuclear war, total nuclear war. But Peter Sellers, as I said, plays about half a dozen parts in it. He's absolutely
Oh, he's brilliant in it.
Yeah, and yeah,
And George C. Scott is good in it as well.
I'm not sure how accurate all the stuff was about the bombers, but it seemed pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was a wonderful
For its
film.
time, the effects were actually really good for its time. What year did that come out? 1964?
I don't know what year. Perhaps someone can Google it to save me going off channel. What year was Doctor Strangelove released?
I haven't actually seen the film, but I have seen the condensed version, which is called 99 Luftballons.
Well, you need to see the film. And as Timo says, gentlemen, you can't fight here. This is the war room.
Yeah.
It's made me think I must watch it again. It's quite an odd film, and it's an odd subject, but I think it was a subject that was so scary back then that in some ways you have to laugh at things. I mean, I think Mitch was saying something early on, talking about racism and so on, and different groups like Jewish people and Freemasons and whatever. But it's quite difficult because you do need to be able to have humour as well, and with any humour, somebody is going to be the butt of the joke. But then you've got to accept that other people joke about something that you are. Well, that people joke about my hairstyle, for instance, and I don't cut up all rusty.
Because there's no actual hair involved. But the thing is, and sometimes it's not the people that are the target of the joke either. It's like the joke is about that, but then the actual punchline's aimed at something else. But yet people will still get offended. Personally, I don't really think there should be anything that is off limits when it comes to comedy, because I think comedy is a good way to deal with tragedy. Sure, I think people should wait, not do things immediately. Like, if a comedian started like coming out right now doing jokes about what's going on in the Ukraine, that would be incredibly inappropriate. But many years down the line, it can help people sort of come to terms with some of this horrible stuff that happens in the world.
Oh, there are already jokes about that, like the difference between the London Sea Life Centre and the Moskva.
Well, yeah, there's like jokes and
Moskva
memes
has a
and
lot more
stuff
fish
going
swimming
up.
around it.
Yeah, I mean that is bad, and there's memes going out and all that stuff. But I mean, professional comedians should not be touching this topic, really. I don't think, but I don't know. It depends how it's done.
Yeah, it's, Jimmy Carr. He's one who is always right on the edge. I mean, bleeding edge of comedy. I've actually, I don't know if I said, but on my birthday, my missus has got me tickets to see Jimmy Carr. I nearly said in what town, but she got me tickets to see Jimmy Carr this autumn. So I'm looking forward to that. He has done some jokes that you think, oh my God, how could he say that? But you can hear everyone go, ah, and laughing.
Yeah. Well, people that go to see Jimmy Carr know what he's about. If anyone gets offended by Jimmy Carr's stuff, then they've gone to see the wrong comedian.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you pay the money and you go to see it, you can't be. But I don't think people have the right not to be offended. But there's a difference between a joke or a comment that causes an offence and outright harassment or hate. There's a massive difference.
Oh, most definitely. I'm going to try and switch you guys from the laptop to my phone so I can go outside and have a cheeky cigarette while we're talking.
Wow.
So we'll see if this works.
Well, don't blow.
I need to get a new vape. I do need to quit. I really do need to quit.
What, have you not got a vape right now?
No, I broke it.
Why? Were you in a temper or something? Throw it on the floor?
I'm never in a temper. At least 1% of the time, I'm never in a temper.
Yes, second best Bob. That is Limey speaking. That is Limey.
Yes. Can you not tell second best Bob by that sexy voice of mine?
He sounds like someone who's got a bit of a cold. That's all.
That's the allergies playing up, but I don't know. People are digging the voice. I keep getting told I need to do a sleep story channel, and I do need to get off my arse and actually do that.
And I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, you should do voiceover or reading audiobooks or whatever." There we go. You just mentioned allergies. I've said that I've been doing this fencing. Well, it's a section of my garden that's overgrown with weeds. You get the normal sort of weeds, but there's these great big tall things. They're about 5 foot tall, and I was just pushing through it to get to the fencing. And about 10 minutes later, my arm's absolutely scratching, covered in welts and going red and whatever. And then got a bit of a sore throat. Realised it's a nasty allergy came on very quickly. I'm not really allergic to anything that I'm aware of, apart from these weeds. I don't know.
It's not.
It can come on quite quick. Like I never had allergies ever, and then when I moved to the States back in 2000, like slowly but surely, I became allergic to almost everything outside, and like pet dander. And apparently, like the change in climate can trigger the change in your body. I'm back in the UK now, and I'm still bloody allergic to stuff. I'm going to switch to the phone. It might drop me out of the conversation.
Yeah, well, I took a couple of antihistamine and it went down. Like I say, I've never had an allergy to anything before, so it was quite a shock and a surprise. Had says, my favourite Jimmy Carr joke. I'll never forgive the Nazis for the way they treated my granddad, always passing him over for promotion. See, I think that's funny. I do. What are my thoughts on a Eurovision result? Politics smothering competition. I think Eurovision's always been politics rather than the actual competition, but I didn't watch it.
Well, it has been, I think.
Yeah, I think. Because you see a whole band of countries all voting for their favourite country and all not voting for whoever it is they got to grumble with. It's not.
Usually the UK, partly because we suck and partly because we can't sing.
Yeah, although we did well this year, didn't we? Was it second place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a narrow escape. Then we nearly had to host it.
Well, UK will host it anyway because Ukraine won, and it will not be in Ukraine next year. So UK will host it next year.
They still want to. They still want to. They're quite upset about it. I thought, well, why not give them the venue and let them do it? Let them be the hosts and what? That's an answer, isn't it? I'd have thought.
Just take over the Russian embassy and let them run it there.
Yeah. True.
Sir Thomas More joked with the axeman who's about to execute him. I wonder what joke he'd made. He was a lot shorter after he died than before, wasn't he?
Charles I. That's a Monty Python joke.
Well, the
The most
decomposing
interesting
composers.
thing about Charles I is there was 5'11" at the start of
That's
his reign,
right.
but only 5'2" at the end of it. Because of Oliver Cromwell, worst song they ever recorded.
I like their song, The Decomposing Composers. Have you heard that?
Yeah, that one actually has a tune, which is great.
Well, it need to, wouldn't it? It's all about composers. What is cutting edge humour, Martin H? The Jimmy Carr joke. I did see someone said I don't get it, and then I think it was second best Bob. Oh dear, if I called you out, Bob, and then they've retracted their message. Was that all? I don't know if I can unretract it or view it. It'd be nice to view it. Oh, I can't. Never mind. Yeah, hello now.
Walking to a BAR.
You're looking a little different now. I won't reveal anything to anyone here.
And it's gonna be a surprise because I do have a new video coming out, and that will be the first punchline in the video. I look a bit different.
Good job I didn't mention it then. Hello, Gary.
Different hell.
Oh, Gary's coming and going. Oh, Gary, we can't hear you. You're muted. Oh, no, you're not muted, but we can't hear you. Can anyone else hear him?
No.
Nope.
No.
No sound from Gary.
Gary's given up.
Mr. S, those
We're doing
bugs that you're
charades.
pushing through that gave you a rash, they weren't umbellifers, were they?
How do you spell that? Let me just Google it. Hold on.
Carrot plant shape. They've got the domes of flowers on the top, hollow stems, and pretty big leaves.
No, I don't think so.
Lines of red dots down the stems that get more and more dense towards the bottom.
Hold on. How do you spell the name of
purple.
this one that you mentioned?
Well, just look up giant hogweed. That's the one to
Right.
worry about.
No, it's nothing like that. No.
That's good, because if you have that stuff, that's bad news.
Is it? Am I dead?
No, but its sap contains a phytophotosensitizing toxin which will soak through your skin, bind to your DNA, and make you very susceptible to sunburn.
Wow. No, it wasn't. It wasn't those anyway. Thankfully, I don't know.
According to some websites, it's not just for the rest of the day; it's for the next 5 to 15 years.
Nice.
So, if an 8-year-old kid falls off the bicycle wearing t-shirt and shorts and rolls through a patch of that, it could be the rest of middle school, the 11+ exam, all the way through grammar school, the GCSEs, all the way through college, A-levels, all the way through university, graduation, and finding a job and a home before they can stop cosplaying Rogue.
But then they'll get better, will they?
Well, in theory, you stop getting blisters eventually.
Yeah.
But, if you do the image search, you'll probably, somewhere if you scroll down, you'll actually probably find an image of the blisters.
Well, Kino says it also makes you bold. Oh dear.
Where does this grow? Does it grow in the northern parts of the world, or?
It's native to
Sweden.
It's native to Russia, actually. They're invading all the.
Oh, that's a bit ironic, isn't it?
Hello, Gary. Do you want to try again?
Ural Mountains or Russia or something like that. But some idiot, rich guy, went across to Russia and went, "Ooh, that's an interesting plant. I'll take some of its seeds home and plant them in my garden."
You still can't
Yeah.
hear me.
No. Sorry,
can hear you now,
Gary.
Gary.
We can hear you, but
You're coming along
you're
clearly.
quite quiet.
Hallelujah.
Oh.
You can sing that, by the way, because that's
Go on,
You
say again.
can, but why would you want to?
Gary, I'm
well,
trying.
you can also sing Mary Had a Little.
Yeah, I think I got you loud enough now. Oh, has he gone quiet
Let me
again?
correct my voice.
Yeah. There's something funny with your system right now, Gary. Everyone's gone quiet.
It has. Yeah, the guy
We
next
want to
us,
hear.
No, we
Rich
don't
guy
want to
grew
wake
in
up
his
Little Miss
garden.
now. That's what it is.
his friends went, "Ooh, that's an interesting plant. Can I have some seeds from it?" and grew it in theirs, and eventually somebody lost control of it. Each plant can produce 100,000 seeds. The seeds float in water, so if they get picked up in a flood, they get spread all the way down. Everywhere there's a line of crap on the riverbank, this plant comes up.
Yeah.
They can lie dormant for 7 years, so you can get rid of it and not see it for 3 years, and then, oh no, there were still seeds there that you hadn't seen yet.
It's almost as though it's evolved to be a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah.
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 This sounds horrible.
And it has...
Or was it just created
How do
like
you hear
that?
me?
I think perhaps it was just created like that by the baby
Yeah, we can hear
Jesus.
that.
It's also...
Can you hear me?
Because it grows so big and such big leaves, it shades out the ground underneath it. And I mean, this thing can grow 10 feet tall. So there's not a lot grows taller than it and towers over it. Nothing else can grow underneath it. Right? So you have these things growing side by side on the riverbank and bare soil in between them. And it's not a tree. It's a
No.
green plant.
Yeah, I've seen
Every
it.
autumn, it dies back to ground level. And then you have nothing with bare soil between them. All the way down the riverbank. Then it rains and your riverbank gets washed away.
I think
that's
I
a bit of a
actually see
problem.
quite a lot of that around in my area, on rough ground. Looking at the pictures of it.
Absolutely lethally toxic to everything except sheep, which for some reason just wander up and eat the stuff with no ill effects whatsoever. So all the way down the river you can see, public footpath with tons of giant hogweed next to it, and then there's a field that has sheep in, no hogweed. As soon as you get past the sheep, you're back to
Well, there's your
having to dodge
answer.
hogweed.
There's your answer.
Yeah, we just
then.
need more sheep.
Yeah, throw sheep at it. Limey is back in. I don't know why Limey left Robski. You're in here now, Limey. Oh, we bring him in the room. He's got
Can you
nothing
hear
to
me?
say. Yes, we can hear you, Gary. Yes. Gary's a happy boy.
You're making this septuagenarian so.
They did the same thing to Jim Hopper. Who's Jim Hopper? Anyone heard of Jim Hopper? I haven't heard
What,
of
same thing? They threw sheep at him
I
too?
don't know. Yes. He got eaten by
What,
sheep.
cut him back to the
I don't know. I don't know.
No, is that the Predator reference?
What, Jim Hopper?
They did the same thing to Jim Hopper.
If it is, it's a reference I've never heard. They did the same thing to Jim Hopper. No, means nothing to me. Nothing at all. I'm still on the roll with my Colonel Baguano quote that nobody got the name of. They got the film eventually, but not the name. Oh, yes. Snark says, I don't see Gary. Maybe he blocked me in a new effective way. Lucky me. Not you, Gary. This the other Gary. Jim Hopper.
The Wabahanga.
Oh, Jim Hopper is from Stranger Things.
Oh, I was thinking something else.
I've seen Stranger Things, at least the first 2 series anyway. Yeah.
Which is not to be confused with Star Trek: Strange New World.
Strange New Worlds. I love Star Trek. Oh, well, no, we're not going to do Star Trek again. We always do Star Trek.
Or Iron Maiden, Stranger in a Strange Land.
Mm-hmm.
Stranger in a...
Now
That was Robert A. Heinlein, wasn't it, wrote that, didn't he?
That was Heinlein, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I've read that one.
There was a guy who masturbated over fascism.
Hello, friends.
Good evening, Jord.
Hey, George.
How have you been, Mr. S? It's been way too long since we've gotten a chance to chat.
Yeah, it's been a little while. I haven't done so many live streams, mostly because of the way my shifts have been working out, amongst other things, But, yeah, doing fine, thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I will apologize. You might hear occasionally there might be a echo from me. My new microphone is so sensitive that it picks up the sound from my headphones. So.
Okay, we're sounding all right now.
But yeah, I've been good, and
Good.
Thanks for bringing me on.
No problem. So who we got in here? So just to let people know who are in the stream, we have the Triggered Limey, Now Pinion, Gary Little, Dog, Captain Welshie, and George said, throw sheep at it. Yeah, you can throw sheep at windows of shops. It's called ram raiding.
That's a Welsh army tactic.
Lob a sheep at it. Oh dear, how sad, never mind.
Well, like you're doing worms, like one of the main
Yeah, the sheep was an upgraded grenade, wasn't it, in Worms?
Yeah, that's
Yes. Well, that game, Worms.
Yeah, the one where you have little worms crawling around and firing weapons at each other.
Yeah.
In a 2D landscape, kind of like Lemmings, but hostile.
Lemmings, yes.
It's
I enjoyed
One
Lemmings.
to pick up was
Yeah.
a sheep,
Yeah.
and the sheep was basically a self-propelled stick of dynamite.
They also have the Holy Hand Grenade in
Yeah,
that.
that's the other one.
Is it Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch, or just another
Well-
Holy Hand Grenade?
They just call it the Holy Hand Grenade, but it's designed to look exactly like the one from Monty Python, and when you throw it, it goes Hallelujah and then explodes.
The sheep one, it just like goes bah, bah, and goes.
Do you remember
That
a
hand grenade
computer game
made-
from back in the early days of home computing? I can't remember the game or the software house, but they had flying cigarettes and exploding camels, or flying camels and exploding cigarettes in it. It was one of these platform games. I used to quite enjoy platform games because they were more like a puzzle. Modern games, they're now getting so realistic, which can be exciting, but it's not quite the same as sitting down and puzzling out a platform game. It's different thing, really.
I remember you could have a screensaver, and it was you could have between like a cow and a bungee rope and a fat guy, and it was something else, and you could program it so like when it would hang and it would stop, and then or they could like the rope would snap and the cow would drop and its guts would go everywhere. I can't remember the name of it. It was something like it was really daft, but it was something to do. It was really funny and messed up.
What about a game called Frack? Has anyone else come across that? I've only seen it once. Frack.
I remember that
F-R-A-K.
one. Very long time ago, that.
Yeah, because it was some little some little being. It was a sort of a platform game, and the graphics were fairly advanced at the time. And you think, well, why is it called Frack? And that's because this little being, every now and then, a little speech bubble would appear, and you'd just say Frack. Go figure.
I thought that only
Frack is a word that Heinlein used in Stranger in a Strange Land.
Is it? Is it really? What was the Stranger in a Strange Land? That wasn't with grokking things, was it? Or was that one of his other books?
No, Grok was also in.
It was Stranger in a Strange Land.
Grok something.
Yeah, I grok you.
Yeah, and it's to grok is to understand the gestalt of everything you
Absolutely. So it is the book, so I have read it, yeah. And Second Best Bob, was it by Jeff somebody? Do you know what I think it was? Because it was quite a small world back then, wasn't it? It was like Scott Adams was famous for text adventure games. And I think you're right, it was...
Jeff Crammon? No, it wouldn't be Jeff Crammon, would it?
No, Jeff something. Yeah.
I'm looking... are you sure you got the name right? Frack?
Frack.
Yeah,
Someone's
Frack.
saying Frack was on the BBC Micro.
No, it was on Babylon 5, and it was basically a replacement for 5.
There was BBC Micro game, Frack.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there we go. A scrolling
I
platform
first
video
encountered
game
it on Babylon 5.
programmed by Nick Pelling for the BBC Micro and Acorn Electron. Published by Aardvark Software, 1984. And you can still get it on Steam. And they're charging $5.99 for it.
Yeah. It looks very similar to something I've played in the past, but being that it's a BBC Micro game, that stands for British Broadcasting Centre, right?
Company.
Or something.
Yeah.
Broadcasting Company, sorry. Yeah, so I doubt I've ever played the
Operation, I
game.
believe.
And Robert Palmer, I think it's got it. Jeff Minter, Attack of the Mutant Camels. There we go. Yeah. And Mandel said, "Oh my God, Scott Adams." Yeah, I had a Scott Adams, did a Scott Adams adventure. If you've never done to the younger people, if you've never done a text adventure, that's all you've got. You give it commands like go east, go west, pick up the knife, open the door, and so on. And I puzzled a bit with this. It was Voodoo Castle, it's called. And in the kitchen of this castle was a cauldron. And eventually I found that you could push the cauldron to the side and it revealed a hole. And if you try and climb down it, you'd fall and die because it's dark. Eventually, with a bit of cleverness, climbed down a ladder with a candle. And searching this place, found this little plaque. And you say, well, read the plaque. And it says the writing's too small. And I thought... I know. I saw a glass jar in another room, so I went all the way back and got this glass jar, came back. I smashed the glass jar, used the piece of glass as a lens. Can't read it because it's too bright. So you blow out the candle, then read this little plaque with this piece of glass as a lens, and it said, if you've enjoyed this Scott Adams adventure, why not try some more? I spent hours and hours and hours working out how to do this. Brilliant mind. Try a text adventure.
That's,
I'm a few years younger than you, but I remember, how do you pronounce it? Leisure Suit Larry?
Yes.
Did you play that?
Yeah.
I didn't play that one, no, but... Yeah,
That's where I got into the game, because I was quite young to play it. So they had, like, you had to prove that you were over 18. In the beginning, it was, like, grown-up questions. You had to, like, who were the Beatles or something like that. And if you answered 3 questions right, you could play it.
I remember one of the questions was something to do with tax forms and stuff, and yeah, I got one of my friends whose dad let him play the game. My parents didn't let me play the game, but he brought it over to me and he told me all the answers and wrote them down all in a book so that whenever I wanted to start a new game, I could just consult the cheat sheet.
That's what we did, yeah.
There was. I mean, it's text adventures that I thought they were really good. They really make you think and get you involved, and there's good puzzles. I actually played the Colossal Adventure, which was pretty much the first adventure game, on a mainframe computer, I'm glad to say. When I went to the... last year, when I did the thing about Bletchley Park, they got a computer centre, or National Computer Centre next door. They got a mainframe running, and they were running Colossal. So my daughter I showed her a green screen text adventure. It's absolutely brilliant stuff. I love it. But one game...
and it is now totally dark. You are likely to be eaten by a grue. Is that the one?
I can't remember all the details on it. It had a room called Swiss Cheese. Yeah.
Not
But
what I'm thinking
another
of.
adventure I did, I think, was called Snowball, and when it starts off, it just says it's dark. We'll look around. It's dark. Move left or east. It's dark. It's dark. It's dark. Eventually, you have to work out, and you're in some sort of not a coffin, a life support thing. You've come out of suspended animation, but you're just in a dark cocoon, if you like, and you have to solve it to get out, and then find your way around the spaceship, and there's all different levels and codes and doors and things. It's brilliant stuff. I absolutely love them.
Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons, Mr. S? I feel like I've
No.
asked you this question before.
No, I haven't.
If you enjoy text-based adventure games, you probably would like Dungeons and Dragons, because the combat, it's crazy with Dungeons and Dragons. You either really love the role-playing aspect or you really love the combat aspect, and the one that you don't like drags on. But I don't know. I think you'd be.
I think I like. Do you know? I can understand it, but I just don't think it's me. I like the puzzles of text adventure games. They can be really, really clever. But I did see sort of Star Wars Dungeons and Dragons, if you like, wargaming with Star Wars, and these giant ships, and they're operating in 3D, and so they're working out all the angles of the flights of the X-wings or whatever fighting it, and so many hits to this part. I mean, these guys, they spent an absolute fortune on it, and it takes days and days to play a game. I can't afford the money all the time, I'm afraid.
Yeah, the way we play, and I play in a bunch of different games, but we do it all online. And if you want to buy like extra assets and stuff, it's pretty easy. But you don't have to. It's just fun. You'd have to find a group of people who know what they're doing to be able to play. That's probably why D&D so what's the word? I can't even think of the word.
Well, I mean, there was a guy I worked with years back. He was into it, and he brought in some of the manuals of how to play this particular game. But Dora and Koo, I'm afraid, George, says, "Don't, Mr. Sensible. D&D is for nerds. You aren't a nerd, are you?"
The thing is with Dungeons and Dragons, the games can last with. I know there's people that the games have gone on for years.
Yeah.
Well, if you mean the same character group of characters can do multiple campaigns, it could last 20 years. But Dora, you failed to specify whether you mean D&D First Edition, Advanced D&D, D&D Second Edition, D&D Third Edition, D&D 3.5, or D&D Fourth Edition.
See, Dora, you're talking to a rivet counter there.
D&D 4th Edition is an arcade game in pen and paper form. D&D 3.5 is where it's at.
D&D 5th Edition is actually my favorite. I played 3.5 for most of my childhood, but I started into 5th Edition recently, and I really like it. It's got a lot of quality of life changes.
Yeah, shall I just ban him from the channel?
I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Hey, listen, we've all got different interests, so we already heard about Mitch and his, what was his centerfold or whatever it was he was talking about earlier on.
Playmate of the Year.
Playmate of the
I
Year.
discovered Halo when I
what Playmate of
retired.
the Year is, 'cause
Well, there you
there's
go.
three of them,
There you
and-
go. Gary Little's into Halo.
Last
Free
time
play
I
I
was-
heck out of it for about
Apocalypse
3 or
Now.
4 years.
That's how I know what they are.
Last time I was here, we were talking about the differences between marijuana and heroin. So if you would have banned me from your channel, I think it would have happened a long time ago.
I would love to know what those various drugs felt like. I would never ever try one because I know how easy I got addicted to nicotine.
Right.
But I just the thought. I mean, I watched Breaking Bad, and there's one scene where I've forgotten that young lad, his sidekick. He
Jesse.
tries Jesse. He's given heroin with his girlfriend for the first time. He's laying on the bed, and the scene that he sort of floats up, and the camera's from above, and it looked obviously it's only a film, but you know, I just can't imagine what it's like. Well, I guess unless you've done some of those things, you're not going to imagine what it's like. I would like to know. Same with LSD and so on. But it's just too damn dangerous, all of them.
Gary, are you into Halo as in high altitude, low opening, or Halo, the Halo Trust that does demining in Cambodia, or Halo Combat Evolved video game?
Or Halo, the thing.
The video game.
Where?
So you're not jumping out of aircraft then?
Oh, I've done that. Yes, I have.
We've got all sorts on this channel. Ah, so that means, Gary, from our earlier discussion, we've obviously determined that you are denser than air then, if you came down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also,
relative density for the win.
But I'm not as dense as water.
Or, as Nathan Oakley, he is pretty dense. Pretty damn dense.
That's called cranial density.
Scientists have been working for a long
Oakley
time.
would float with his feet out of the water.
That guy's skull is 20 centimeters thick.
With nothing inside it.
Like a little walnut shriveled up, just lounging on the bottom of like a...
Yeah, if he shakes his head like that, you can hear it rattling.
Please be careful with the use of the word little. That's my last name.
Don't wear it out.
Yeah. I almost said my last name, but
I tell you, it's so easy. I mean, I've never said my last name, but about getting on for 2 years ago, I gave my first name away in a stream, and no one noticed. Nobody noticed.
Yeah.
I mean, I've mentioned it since with that first time watching channel. Yeah.
Isn't it Harold, as in the stop censoring
Stop
Harold
censoring
link?
Harold, yes.
I thought it was Mr.
Oh, well, that's true as well. And Triggered Limey, why do you keep buggering off and then sitting in the live waiting room and then moaning about it in the chat, saying, why am I in the live waiting room?
I switched to my phone, which obviously, because it's a locked room, I couldn't switch directly to it. Because I wasn't going to carry my laptop outside for a cigarette. I should have, in
it's
hindsight.
a locked room. Is it also padded?
I don't know. It's your Discord room.
Oh, that room. I thought you meant the room you're in.
No, I'm allowed out.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes,
most
of the time.
Accompanied, of course.
My room's padded, and it comes with one of those lovely coats that makes you hug yourself.
Yeah.
I love it.
But they don't take the shackles.
Well, not the feet ones. No, sadly. But
well,
thanks for bringing it up, guys.
That explains why you keep reappearing in the live waiting room. Then.
Yes.
Good. Well, it's not me booting you out. This is me booting you out. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I actually do that, Limey? I'm sorry.
You know what?
Yeah.
There was me thinking that, you know what, Mr. S is one of my favourite channels to watch on YouTube. No, I'm gonna have to relegate him now.
Yeah. Oh well. I'll get over it, mate.
One of the reasons I got into doing what I do, well, what I did, I mean, with Flat Earth, obviously, I won't blame you for me now following frauders around to like online. I don't know. You got to find something that's not Flat Earth, I think, if you want to grow, don't you? Now, because Flat Earth is dead, but
it is dead,
and the Fraud Earth thing does seem to be growing really well. But my God, is it tedious?
This is it. I mean, I've seen a few things that you could that one could tackle, and I think I'm just not interested in that. Flat Earth is fun because it's so dumb. Second best Bob, member for 23 months, says I would list all the drugs I've done, but there's no room.
Yeah, same here, buddy. But I don't know. I'm 6 days and I'm 2 years clean. But
good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I was going to ask, talking about that, obviously, going different routes on YouTube. When can we expect another video from you and Mrs. S on the reacting to movies because they were fun.
Well, probably you won't.
Judging by that smile, that's the big plan. The big
No,
plan
no,
is
no.
that
It's not the
we're
big
gonna get rid
plan.
of two of the channels. and they're gonna
Something.
I can't really go into it right now. I just can't.
Fair enough.
But
Fair enough.
yeah, I mean, I quite enjoyed doing them, and it was nice getting Mrs. S involved. But I tell you what, I had a devil of a job trying to stay on the right side of copyright, because YouTube's automated copyright thing is it's relentless, absolutely relentless. And my PC, if you're taking an hour and a half film, I could only do 30-minute chunks of it, and each 30-minute chunk would take me the best part of a day, because you could only have a few seconds at a time. I did enjoy the finished results. I enjoyed watching the film, but boy, did I hate doing those edits. But that's not why I'm not doing them. I'm not doing them because that channel, I think, which sounds odd, but I think doesn't exist anymore. I can't be sure if it exists anymore. So if anyone can find it,
stills, not clips. You know, a lot harder to copyright claim a still image with you talking than a clip with.
Well, that's true, but it's not
audio.
very interesting watch. And then you see some people, you think, how on earth have they got away with that? They're showing sort of a 30-second clip.
Right.
I think the algorithm, like, there's got to be a setting, hasn't there, where if it's one of the very, very large channels that makes YouTube a hell of a lot of money, then they get away with a lot more.
They do.
Can I ask, like, was it, like, if you showed bits of it and took the audio out, were there still problems with that at all? Like,
well,
does it recognise the video?
Was the best way I found was I'd captured us reacting and the sound, and then I duplicated it a couple times. On one, I would leave it so audio and video was fully visible. On the next, I would blur the video but leave the audio, and on the other, I would leave the video and distort the audio, and then I'd cut chunks out so that for a few seconds you get both, and then you got blurred video, and then you got both, and then you got no video, and do you know what I mean? So cutting into lots and lots of little bits for a few seconds each, and that was fine.
Try and confuse the algorithm.
Yes, and then you do, and you're making comments and responding. So really, it shouldn't fall foul of copyright. You upload it, and then it says, oh, copyright failure between 1 minute 35 and 1 minute 40. You think, oh great. So you go in there and perhaps you tinker, or you think, right, I'll just cut that whole chunk out, upload it again, and then it will say copyright 1 minute 30 to 1 minute 35. And when you've done that 6 times, you're bloody sick of it. Going for all that.
Did you ever try appealing it? Because I mean, really, what you do should fall under fair use.
Yeah, but you'd be appealing it for everyone. It was just much work. So much work.
I found
all the work took the fun out.
Now Doran Koo says it is no longer in her subscribers list. It appears to be pining for the fjords. Yeah, that's what I thought, Dora. The channel has disappeared. I've been doing some work and that channel disappeared, you see. But yes, Robski, it was a lot of work. So what happened there? Discord's just gone. Discord. Oh, hello. Discord dropped out. Is everyone still there?
Wow.
Yeah, we're all still here.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Screaming.
We're all still here, but you've disappeared and we can't hear you.
You still can't hear me?
I can hear you.
You're not hearing me.
Yeah, the camera's off there. Yeah, my whole Discord just went black. Go figure.
Ooh.
Must be the Russians.
Yeah.
Or even worse, it's Microsoft deliberately sneaking bugs into older operating systems to force you to open quote upgrade close quote to Microsoft Windows 11 so that they can shut you down anytime you say anything they don't like, because you will no longer own your PC, they will.
Worst thing I ever did was install 11.
I've seen those videos, the guy doing it. Have you seen it? About a half-hour rant about it. He's I'm not sure what his role is, some PC specialist anyway, and he'd warned about it, and now he's saying more about it. Yeah, they've got all sorts of approvals and whatever, and in effect they own your PC, or at least can make it unusable for you. You'll still own the kit, but you won't be able to do anything with it.
Well, you do own the hardware, but no one owns the software except the people that wrote it and licensed it.
Yeah,
you have
but
a
I
license
think
to use
it's
the
worse than that with Windows 11, isn't it? Everything has to be everything's approved or not approved.
And this is why I use Apple.
Sorry, it's why you use Apple.
Yeah,
That's,
I'm on Apple. This is a Mac that I'm.
Yeah, is that why you're having trouble with your sound, Gary? Sorry.
I'm also on a Mac. So I'm used to being locked down anyway. So
No, I don't do Apple. I think the kit is beautiful. I think it's horrendously overpriced. For any given spec, you'll get a lot more with a PC for that price. I think it's a beautifully designed operating system. But yeah, I feel that the times I've used it, which is not much, and it was quite a few years ago, they had so much control. You couldn't get through. I don't know.
I just find them really pretentious.
Well, I wrote code for both platforms, and I prefer the Macintosh platform head and shoulders over Windows.
I think I just like Windows because it's a little bit more, and it's a little bit more free. You know, like with Apple, you know, especially I guess I've only ever dealt with iPhones, so I don't know about iPhone.
Sorry, that's an involuntary reaction I have from anything Apple.
I despise Windows from Windows 8 onwards. I think it looks flat, it looks boring. I've got Windows 7 Ultimate, and it looks beautiful. The windows have got nice soft round edges. You've got the aero glass, so you can look through the bar. It is the best version of Windows, and after that, everything's just flat. I mean, we use it at work. 10, I think. And if you get a window and sort of drag another window up, you can't tell the difference between one window and another because you haven't got any borders and things like that. And it's just, everything looks 2D, and it's just horrible. Just a square of colour to represent something, and everything. I mean, the icons are now so simple, just a squiggly line or whatever. Half the time you don't know what they are, and most of the time there's nothing there. At least on the systems we've got at work, you move the mouse over and suddenly a button lights up. It lights up as a flat rather than a button, but it's just not there. So we've got virtually blank screens, and you're moving around trying to find stuff. It's so unuser friendly, and it's so bad for accessibility. My eyesight's pretty good, but I've got a slight colour blindness. Half the time I can't see where stuff is on there.
Yep.
It's just bad. I mean, if I have to leave 7, I will have to go. I think I'll have to go to
Unix.
Unix, yeah, I think so. But I don't really want to do all the tinkering behind the scenes. In effect, I want to install an operating system.
Pick up a Mac Mini.
Well, I want to install I want to install an operating system that will still allow me to run things like Discord and Streamlabs and stuff like that. Basically, to run Windows software.
Pick up a Mac Mini.
No, I won't go. I will not go Apple.
Mini.
Once you go on Apple, it all ties together. They have control of you. I don't mean the control like with this latest version of Windows, but you're better off then having an iPhone. You're better off having an Apple this, and you're better off having an Apple that, and it's all horrendously expensive. I mean, with mine, I can pop the side off my PC and swap a standard hard disk in. I know you can with some Macs, but yeah, I like open computing.
Unique power charging cord, its own unique shape of USB cord, its own unique voltages, its own unique size of batteries, its own unique currency, its own unique frequencies and resolutions, and none of it's compatible with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 o'clock hero says Apple is a trap.
Have you people heard of Linux, guys? Come on.
The what, darling?
I've heard of Linux.
Linux.
I have absolutely heard of Linux. I've also programmed for Linux.
I have
And
heard.
that's the last thing that I would want to write code.
I've heard of Linux. That is my extent of Linux.
Yeah, same here. I believe there's a penguin involved. So clearly they work for NASA and have something to do with the ice wall.
95% of the internet is Linux, so we're all using it right now. Yes,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. There's no problem with that. As
I
long as
won't
you've
deny
got,
that.
as long as I've got a Windows style front end, you know, a nice
Easily.
operating system on top of it, then that's fine. I have no problem with Unix based systems. I've used them too. But
Like a Linux and Unix, like just like without the user interface. Then, like, is it like the raw, you know, computer? I don't know, the stuff behind this. I don't bloody understand
well,
it.
it's basically yes, and then there's software that runs on top of it. I mean, Windows not so
I'll
much with
stick with Windows then.
yeah, yeah, but Windows basically originally ran on DOS, disk operating system.
Yeah.
But you know, when you boot up the machine, you just see the green screen text or whatever, or you used to before the latest versions of Windows. That was what it was running, but that loaded Windows, which is software. It's an operating system that runs on top. So Unix would be sort of the equivalent, and then you run a front end on top of it. So I have no problem with that. I just want a
Now,
nice
what
front end.
is what is the basis? What is the basis for Mac OS?
For Mac.
It used to be it used to be Unix, but now
It
it's
was Unix, yeah.
yes. But now they can't call it Unix anymore.
Now it's
so it's
pretty
all-
well
Now
exists
it's
as its own-
Satan. He actually lives inside Apple products.
Who does?
No, that's Windows.
Satan.
You're all wrong
that's-
anyway. We should never have moved away from the Archimedes RISC operating system.
I'm sorry.
We should have never
That's
moved
Windows.
away from the abacus
That's not
and a
Windows.
pen and
That's
paper.
Windows.
No.
Some
we
people
shouldn't
say
have-
coming down from the trees was a bad idea.
I agree. The trees sound fun.
I'm starting to think that some of us are indications that coming out of the sea at all was a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm glad we're out of the sea. I don't trust that area, not at all.
Too wet.
I've been nipped by a crab. I've been stung by a jellyfish. Clearly, shark attack is the next one up the chain. So I don't go in the sea anymore. Nope.
Where I come from, there's a fish called the alligator gar, and
Ooh.
yeah, a friend of mine got bit by one of those and had to be rushed to the hospital.
I'm not surprised.
Where I live, we just have alligators.
Fair play. Fair play.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he would have been rushed to the hospital if he got bit by a gator. I don't think he would have had the chance.
Well, I mean, you might be able to yank really hard and just lose a foot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
They taste like chicken.
oh yeah,
alligators do. Or fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
had
they're-
alligator yet.
Oh,
If they're
delicious
big enough and
fried.
strong enough,
Oh
you
my
just drag
god.
the guy and the alligator to the hospital.
Save the alligator.
Wasn't there something in the
Hello.
press
Florida,
recently about some guy who was kicking an alligator and then it tried grabbing him, of course, and he only just
Well-
got rescued?
Oh,
What's an
Oh, is
alligator
that what
guy?
I
happened again?
deserved it. I would have let him get eaten.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I was
I
gonna
told
say-
Fred not to go to the store to do that.
I have
shit.
two.
I mean, stuff.
Oh,
have
an
two
alligator gar. It's a fish.
Yeah, they're
A
kind
ray,
of gross.
They're sort of a ray-finned Euryhalon fish, related to the
And they
bowfin, in the
they got
infraclass
long,
Holosti.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of them before.
They are very, very scary fish.
If you're looking up fish, Mr. S, look up the red-lipped batfish.
Oh gosh, go on then. Red-lipped batfish. Am I going to regret this? Okay. Yeah, looks quite cute.
Oh, it is
A
cute.
Galapagos batfish. Wow. Yeah.
Looks funny from the side profile. Do you guys, I love watching the Shark Week stuff, you know, when it's on. And it was only a few years ago that I saw the goblin shark. And it's got the double hinged jaw. So it has the sensors in its like snout, its nose, you know, to sense when there's something there to eat. And it shoots its entire jaw forward and then snaps down on it. It's
Bit like
brilliant.
Alien.
It looks like an alien. They thought it was extinct for a really long time.
It's a little bit like the xenomorph, except if what the xenomorph's inner mouth did is what the outer mouth does.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. There's videos of it on YouTube.
Now Opinion super chatted 50 Swedish krona. Sorry I had to go. Thanks for the chat. See you around. Well, now, just in case you do catch this, thank you very much for coming. Wish you all the best with Little Miss now, and good luck when you sort of return back to YouTube. So do let us know so we can let everyone know when you're doing your videos again. And if you see him, say hi to Mr. Pinion. I haven't seen him around for ages.
Have you seen that lady dancing with sharks?
Huh?
Some model who's really good at holding her breath. Insert some kind of joke here. Got all painted up in underwater camouflage, as in blue and pale blue ripple patterns, with weighted boots and I think a weight belt, so that she could dance on the sea floor. And they made a video of her dancing with a bunch of tiger sharks that were swimming around her, wondering what the hell was going on.
Yeah,
and they had to have scuba divers just out of frame who would occasionally swim in and hand her the octopus, as it's called, the second breather. So that's
so I don't know if these
take a few breaths and
I know
recharge.
I know little about sharks. I don't know if tiger sharks are dangerous, because I know that when I was in the Maldives, I did some film of this school of fish in the shallows. And there were two types of fish. There was the vast majority of them were sort of silverfish, and then there was these odd darker ones, and they would swim up to you. You could put your hand in and just scoop them straight out of the water. They'd sit on your hand, put them back in the water. So I was filming this, and we kept trying to catch, and we eventually did, a reef shark coming by, and then all the school of fish would split around them. So I'm filming this shark, and someone put a comment, "Oh my goodness, you need to get out of the water if there's a shark there." But it's a reef shark, totally harmless.
Yeah,
I don't know about tiger sharks. I think they can be.
Tiger sharks can be very dangerous, but mostly at dawn and dusk. And as with most things, it's if you're on the surface. I think a human on the surface is easily mistaken for an exhausted turtle or something.
Well,
and she was on the bottom, where she doesn't look the same, especially with the camouflage, where she's a shape.
Yeah,
she's not the black rubbery shape that a seal is, and she's not the outline with round blob outline with four fins that a turtle is. She's something weird. So all of these tiger sharks just kind of swimming past for a look.
Yeah, right.
One eventually came so close, she gave it a kiss on the nose.
Is that what happened to the USS Indianapolis? Something similar with that.
Was that the ones where so many hundred went into the water and so many hundred less came out?
Yeah, basically it was carrying, I think it was carrying like equipment for the first atomic bomb, and it got sunk by it got tapped by a Japanese submarine, and it was like a very top secret. It was.
This is the speech from Jaws.
Jaws,
isn't it?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
So secret, nobody even knew it had been sunk.
Yeah. So all the sailors were in there basically hanging on to each other, and every time the sharks came, they'd all kick their feet to try and scare off the sharks, but each time the sharks would get one or two sailors.
Yeah.
You see now, bull sharks, they're getting seen in freshwater now, aren't they? They're like one of the few sharks that can tolerate freshwater. Yeah.
They will swim up rivers and scare the hell out of canoeists.
Sharks don't skydive.
Hey, not normally, but by force occasionally.
That's why I like skydiving.
There's a lack of sharks skydiving, isn't there? They're quite rare.
Absolutely.
I've seen Sharknado. It's kind of the same thing.
And I made Mrs. S watch Snakes on a Plane. She fritters herself.
How was it? Because I've refused to watch.
Oh, you should watch it. It's funny. It's ridiculous. But she's absolutely petrified. I mean, she is petrified of snakes. I made her sit through that because I thought we might get some reactions out of her. Oh yeah.
I just simply refuse to watch that film.
Well, I haven't watched the Sharknado series. My daughter thinks it's brilliant.
I just think it's a stupid daft film.
Something like
There are some whose concepts are so stupid I refuse to give them a view.
Something like a 2-foot ball python, or a grass snake, or a garter snake, or I think it's a rat snake, the red touch black friend of Jack snake. I'm fine with those. I will hold those. I will cuddle those. I will let those crawl over my fingers. I will keep those warm in my hands. I am very happy with those. Spitting cobra, Egyptian cobra, hooded cobra.
My daughter has just got
right
back.
off.
She just got back from Morocco, and there were snake charmers there with the cobras. I presume that they drain the poison. I don't know, but anyway, her boyfriend was with her, and the guy just suddenly put the snake round his neck, and then held the snake's head and made him kiss the top of the snake's head. But I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered by snakes. I've held a great big boa constrictor. You know that its body was like this. It was round my neck, and I was holding it at arm's length, head end and tail end, and it was still a couple feet off each end, really solid and heavy. And I used to have a grass snake, but years and years ago, I helped out at some sort of youth camp, a weekend away in Wales or whatever. It was a sunny afternoon. And a couple of kids come over to me and said, oh, there's a snake here, I said, well, that's fine, leave it alone, let's go and have a look. And it was coiled up in the sun, just sitting there. And I was saying, look, you see, he's not going to hurt anyone, he's just sitting in the sun. And then some kids say, throw a rock at it, hit it with a stick. I was like, no, just leave it, it's just an animal. And I thought, I can't leave it here because one of these kids will do something. And I got a couple of sticks and tried to sort of pick it up because I wasn't sure what snake it was. And I wasn't getting anywhere with that, so I just grabbed his tail, took him quickly over to grass and dropped him in the grass. There's only two snakes here, grass snake or an adder, which is poisonous. It was an adder.
Will give you as a headache.
Mr.
Snakes and spiders, they can piss off.
Just for future reference, Mr. S, I know you probably don't have many poisonous snake or venomous snakes around where you are, but grabbing it by the tail is like the worst thing you can do if it is venomous, because its head is fully free.
Yeah.
Pin its head down and grab it right at the base of its neck.
It was a very quick pick it up and put it down. I mean, you're quite right. It could have, but I was thinking of getting it away from the kids, primarily for the snake's good.
The sensible thing is to always have a pet mongoose with you when dealing with a snake. I remember Ricky Tikki Tavi from childhood. And
what about one of those exploding sheep? Then if you see a dangerous snake, you launch a sheep at it.
We got these...
Or one of those kamikaze worms from the Worms games. I loved them too. They were great. Sorry, buddy, I interrupted.
No, you're fine. We have a snake around where I'm from. They're completely harmless. Like, I've never even seen anyone get bit by them, but they can get to about 5 feet in length. We call them black rat snakes.
Ooh.
And they got some decent fangs on them, but their main target is rats and small mammals and stuff, so they don't have enough poison or venom to hurt you. But
I think I'd be fine with any snake, like maybe 1 millimeter or smaller. Above that, no. So no.
That's called a worm or a parasite.
No, I mean, it'd be a parasite, wouldn't it? We do get we get, what do we call them, Mr. S over here? Are they slow worms?
But slow worms aren't snakes.
They do look like them, don't they?
They do. They're legless. They're legless lizards, basically. But they're only about 10 inches long, something like that. They're lovely little things.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch them either.
So if it had legs, it would be all right. It would be a long, thin animal. But you cut the legs off, and suddenly wouldn't touch it.
Not necessarily. See, because it took me years to even touch like a guinea pig. If they're
they got huge pointy teeth.
If they're
look at the bones, man! Look at the bones
and freaky looking, then no. If it's not a cat or a dog, I might get a pet iguana now because you can walk those as well. If you can walk it on a leash and it's got legs, then I think that's probably okay.
If you get a pet iguana, man,
very looking guinea pig. It had a centre parting, full length of its body.
Nice.
I have a scar on my face that tells you to watch out for the tail if you get an iguana. I had to get.
Oh my god! Damn.
Yeah, I had to get stitches. I was my stepdad at the time had one, and it was hanging out on the dresser under my mom's makeup lamp like it normally did. and I was just sitting there looking at him, and I guess I breathed at him wrong or something because he wound up his tail and whacked me right across the side of the face.
Wow.
And right above
and enough to leave a scar.
Yeah.
That's going to leave you in nightmares now, Limey.
Yeah, probably.
Right, guys.
I'm gonna be knocking on your door, Mr. S, like asking for a cuddle because it was your stream that did it to me.
That's all right. I'll throw you out of there as well.
Oh, cheers, mate.
guys, it's just coming up on 11 o'clock, so it's been a 2-hour stream already. It's flown, but I'm going to get to bed because I'll try and get up early to get some more work done before the weather gets too hot. So it's been great kicking it and chilling, literally chilling and talking about stuff, all sorts of things, from bat guano to exploding sheep to poisonous, what was it? Poisonous guinea pigs with huge pointy teeth, man. Look at the bones.
Yeah. Join us next week when we discuss the duck-billed platypus.
Guys,
no, thanks for having us on, man. This has been really fun.
Always a pleasure.
I enjoyed it.
A pleasure. Right, so
until the next time, see you later.
One more night before we go.
Thank you all. So that's Anne the George Head, Captain Welshie, Darling, Dog, Gary Little, and the Triggered Limey. Thank you all very much for joining me. Everyone, as I said, please keep an eye out on the stream because sometime, sorry, not the stream, on the channel, because I think probably over about the next couple of weeks I should be making some announcement of some changes. Oh, you can see the lava lamp. Mandevil, thank you. That lava lamp has been there on a few streams whenever I'm not using the green screen. You're the first person to comment. I love lava lamps, definitely. Anyway, thank you all very much. Please, take care of yourself. See you all soon. Goodbye and stay sensible.
Mr. Sensible, Mr. Sensible, bring me some cheese, and get me only the best if you please, Here are some flowers, let me display them. Yea, Dr. Warlow, you have gone all slay them. Mr. Sensible, you are a man. Every subscriber is a faithful fan. Bring your logic and your cheese. Mr. Sensible, help us out, please. Mr. Sensible, I needed proof of gravity, so I jumped off the roof. It happened not, let me go further. Why was I ever such a darn flat earther, Mr. Sensible? I'm such a clown. I am the laughing stock of the town. Bring your logic and your cheese. Mr. Sensible, help me out, please. Mr. Sensible, bring me a sphere, to which the waters of the oceans adhere, have explanations that let me be kind.